question number one, during production, why was it important to mirror the harsh conditions that Glass would have faced in the 1800s?
Well, the truth is, Alejandro couldn't even quite articulate why he wanted to do this movie from the onset, but I knew he wanted to submerge himself in nature, and he wanted to relive the steps of Hugh Glass. Hugh Glass's story is sort of the ultimate survivor's tale, and it's a sort of iconic American legend because he was this mountain man that not only survived all the elements, but was associated with conquering nature as well, and this has been a campfire story that has gone on and on from generation to generation, but it represented the new American frontier and what we were capable of in this country. So being submerged in the elements like that was an intrinsic part of making the movie, and so much of what we experienced, so much of the endurance that we had to have in these harsh conditions certainly translated itself up on screen, and a lot of what we experience being in that environment wove itself into the narrative of the entire story. The whole subplot of the Native American people, the stripping away of their land and their resources, and this surge out west to extract natural resources from an untouched landscape. These were all things that made their way into the narrative of the story.
Absolutely. And what does Glass learn about himself after he's completely stripped of everything?
Say that again?
What does Glass learn about himself after he's been completely stripped of everything?
I think there's a lot of different ways to interpret what Glass feels. For me, it's a very cathartic voyage. It opens up the question of what does this man live for when he's lost absolutely everything that he loves. All the chips are stacked against him, and his main goal is to reap revenge on the man that has taken everything from him. But once he's finally face to face with revenge and he sees that it's a hollow, empty feeling, it becomes something more existential for him. It becomes something spiritual, and people have to see the movie to really interpret what they want from it. But for me, it had its own specific meanings.
Absolutely. And finally, The Revenant is obviously a story of harsh survival, but it's also one of inspiration and hope. And how do those two figure into Glass's journey?
The Revenant is something that comes back from the dead, and what Hugh Glass endures in this harsh landscape is beyond comprehension. But this is very much a love story. It's a love story for what he has lost, his son and his wife, and these ghosts, they still speak to him in the harshest of conditions in this movie, and they make him push on and persevere against all odds. So to me, there's a deep forged love story in this movie. The people that he has a relationship with are ghosts of his past, but they live on through him.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.